up, everybody? It's Furin here. Today I'm going to go over one of my favorite Siege or Guild Wars offense teams. It's just a simple bomber team, and I'm going to show it against actually my current Guild Wars defenses that I'm running. So the key thing that you're looking for when you're running a bomber team is you want a team that doesn't have good cleanse, good immunity, or a lot of units that have second life functionality with them, or someone that's just going to be able to cleave you really quickly, since it's usually run as a shield will cleave. So my typical bomber team is this third preset that I have, and it's Malaka, Cian, Fran. I run Malaka, Broken Shield, Will. I think ideally I actually put him on Fatal and have him pump out a little more damage, but the main thing here is you want him to be slightly tankier than the Evolution, so he does not get targeted since he doesn't have the second life. I run around 35 accuracy. I also have 21% in skill 2 accuracy on my artifacts, but since I'm running the 50% water accuracy leader, you don't need it. Next, I have my Cian, who's on Fatal Will and has a much better set on him. It's a little too tanky since he actually doesn't get targeted as much compared to the Malaka, but again, not a ton of speed. He's just attack, attack, attack with as much attack as I can, relying on that passive to get his bombs off. And again, 33% accuracy here, looking for actually don't have any in the artifact. This is a terrible artifact for him. I could look for more bomb damage or something, but basically he gets an extra 50% accuracy from his passive on this skill. He gets the accuracy leader from Malaka as well, so he actually does not need any accuracy for this team to work. Lastly, I have a Fran that I use for this team that is Shield Will and Nemesis. The idea here is that you tank the first round of attacks from the enemy. You put up your immunity with Fran, either cutting through. It also has high resist, so there's a good chance that I don't get stripped, or I don't get stripped and stunned by something like the Clara. And then you get a double attack buff bombs off. And against most of these teams, you actually don't even really need all your bombs to go off in order to get a full wipe. Just an attack buff bomb from this Cian will full clear this team. So on this other team here, this is actually a little risky into this team. If Iris does a full strip into CC from the Light Monkey, that could wipe me, but we'll see what this looks like. I'd say this is probably like 80% effective on this first team, because you're likely not going to get strip stun on all your units. And then you can see here, actually the Fran gets slept, so I just have 2 sets of bombs. We see the Monkey resist 1. We get a bunch of stuns here. The Cian goes down. I'm now able to put up my attack buff and immunity, so I can CC more. The Iris is dead. I'm going to hit this Monkey a little bit. My Carcano is pretty tanky there, lives through the bomb, but we should be able to just go ahead and clean up here. So we'll show this again against the second team. This is a lot safer against this Ciara, Clara, Kaki. This is a pretty common Guild War or Siege defense that we're seeing. The risk here actually is if the Malaka gets stripped, since my Malaka is less tanky than the Cian, he could get just 1 shot in the first wave. But I can actually almost just 2-man this with the Cian Fran, as long as I can get either an attack buff off or some amount of damage out of the Malaka. These units are not usually that tanky, and an attack buff Cian bomb can do like 30k damage and just 1-shot them. But the likelihood of the Clara strip stunning both of my water units is pretty low. So you can see here, they actually got both strips off and stunned the Cians. I missed the bombs, so that's a little lucky. But I still would have been able to get the bombs off on the Cian eventually. We'll get 1 set of bombs off. We will heal here. The Fran died from just the 1 bomb, 33k damage because of the attack buff. Second set of bombs, and everything is dead. So in conclusion, this team is pretty safe against a lot of different things. I use it every single siege. I'm starting to build a second set of Cian, and I actually have a Dover that I'll use in place of the Malaka just for fun. You gotta use your LD4s. But almost any team that lacks a consistent immunity, this team is very safe into. I feel like you have a lot of redundancy built in against RNG, so even if something happens and one unit goes way off or you miss a bunch of bombs, in order for this team to fail, really what you usually need to see is either the very unlikely case that you miss, 2 whole sets of bombs, like 5 out of 6 accuracy checks you're missing, or if against one of these things where like the Kalaris strip stuns both your water units. There's still actually a good chance that you end up getting an attack buff on off with the Cian when he revives, which wipes the whole team and makes this decently safe.